Welcome to Make It Rain with Adam Schein on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Yes, Monday edition, Make It Rain with Adam Schein here on VSiN, and my goodness, we have a show. Ladies and gentlemen, the guru is here. John Henson, the guru, back by popular demand to lock in all sorts of betting props for the upcoming NFL draft. My guy, prop point superstar, the guru, is going to join us. John Henson, really fired up about that. Great weekend in sports betting. We had some hits, we had some misses, we have a ton of plays for tonight. My goodness, the NBA was on fire. So much great stuff in the National Hockey League. Great games and some controversy in baseball. Great weekend for sports betting. My goodness, this is going to be a show. We're going to hit on every single NBA, NHL, every baseball game that mattered from the weekend, what lies ahead. Let's start with our hottest takes and things that transpired this past weekend in the association in the first weekend of the NBA playoffs. And listen, I'll be the first one to tell you when I'm right. I'll be the first one to tell you when I'm wrong. The LA Lakers were a flat-out embarrassment. My guarantee of the Lakers taking care of business in Game 1, a flat-out embarrassment. The Lakers were out-physicaled. They were out-performed. They were out-coached. This was an ass-kicking of epic proportion. This was as lopsided as it gets. The Lakers, from the start of the second to midway through the third, got outscored 67-33. 67-33. I didn't even think twice when it came to laying the 4.5 with the LA Lakers. And look, here's the deal. Sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you have regrets. I don't regret the pick. It was as wrong could be. I mean, the Lakers earned the 3 seed. They earned the praise. They had the ability to earn home court in the first round. You know, after a couple of years of taking the long road, the play-in route to getting into the postseason, Lakers down the stretch of the season did everything right. J.J. Redick was fantastic. Luka was great. Reeves, LeBron, the defense. They don't have a true big, but Hayes was solid. And, you know, DFS and Vanderbilt, as pseudo fives, did a great job. Now, of course, you go into this series, and we talked about it, the one advantage that Minnesota had, the bigs. Boy, they exposed Los Angeles and really just, busted their will. I mean, it was a complete and utter derriere kicking, and it's a shame. I mean, the quote from J.J. Redick after the game, our guys were not ready to withstand a playoff-level basketball game. I'm not sure physically we were ready. And when the Wolves attacked and started playing with thrust and physicality, we did not respond. What a damning and accurate take. Now, I give you that to give you this. And listen, Luka Doncic called himself out, called his team out, for not pulling the rope. Obviously Austin Reeves was calling his team out. He was disappointed in what transpired. I would be stunned if this thing becomes a trend. Seriously. I think that getting an extra day, obviously, in terms of the anger, letting it fester, is a good thing. Take a look at the board coming up for the Timberwolves and the Lakers for game number 2. I think that you're going to see the Lakers absolutely turn this thing around. Vegas, listen, think about this, right? And Vegas sees it my way. The game 1 point spread was 4.5. They lost 117-95. They got their derrieres kicked, and they're favored by 5.5 for Tuesday night. So, yeah, am I going to take the Lakers to win? Am I going to lay the 5.5? Yes. Yes, I am. This was bad, but I'm not going to jump off the bandwagon. I had a great conversation today with ESPN star Dave McMenamin. He was on my SiriusXM radio show. We were in agreement on the Lakers' ability to bounce back. Lakers and McMenamin painted this picture. We've talked about it. In their building, their eyes, Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, J.J. Redick, the people in that organization, they think they can compete for a championship this year. Just a few weeks ago, we had a Monday show after they destroyed OKC and OKC where we said, look, Lakers have to at least make the Western Conference Finals, And that remains the pick. I want to see a little bit more Jackson Hayes, right? Now, take a look at the odds to win the Western Conference. And there was some market movement, just a little bit, on downgrading the Lakers, because obviously, even if they win, they would face Golden State, who we'll get to in a second, in the second round of the Western Conference postseason. I still think, right, even after the Lakers no-showed game one, and they got punked. And Doncic pumped in a ton of points, and you can give Luka credit for that if you want. 37 points. There was no ball movements. Austin Reeves could not get going. I appreciated that exchange he had with Dave McMenamin. That was good journalism, good thought-provoking questions, and an answer by Luka Doncic. I thought that was great. I thought that was healthy. And I do still think I was dead wrong, couldn't be more wrong on game one. I still think the Lakers will win this series. They have to do a better job in terms of toughness, rebounding, and playing big. Look, Anthony Davis not walking through that door. Mark Williams not walking through that door. I want to see a little bit more Jackson Hayes. I didn't, in moments, think that it was the wrong move when J.J. Redick only played Hayes 8 minutes the other night. So I'm not going to sit here and second guess, but I do think there needs to be an adjustment moving forward here for Los Angeles. Now, the Warriors absolutely rocked the Rockets, and listen, this is not a surprise. Steph Curry was vintage. Jimmy Butler was vintage. This is who they are. This is what they do. This is what you expect. And, of course, they're going to win. Of course, they're going to take care of business. I mean, I actually thought it was free money with the fact that they were dogs in this first game. I mean, plus 100, Golden State on the money line. First playoff game in Houston since 2019. Yes, please. I think the Rockets are a great regular season team. I mean, all you need to do is look at the odds in Vegas before the series started. Houston is a 2, Golden State is a 7, and the Warriors are minus 200 to win the series. So I don't think this was a fluke. I don't think that, Houston just needed to get its playoff legs beneath them. I don't think that's the case at all. Jalen Green was 3 of 15 from the field. Amen Thompson had 8 points. Freddie Van Vliet couldn't put the ball in the ocean. 4-19 from the field and 2 of 13 from 3. I'd be stunned. Even if Houston gets a game or two, I don't think this will feel like an ultra-competitive series throughout the stretch of this first-round matchup. We said on Friday's Sizzling Edition of Make It Rain with Adam Schein, and we have said consistently my favorite series, it took me forever to pick who I was going to win, as you know, Denver and the Clippers, and my goodness, that was the game of the weekend, no surprise. I did pick the Clippers to win this series. I picked the Clippers to win game one. I had them with the 2.5-point spread. Oh, we'll take it. I mean, good teams win, great teams cover. We'll take it. Thank you, Los Angeles. That was great stuff. Russell Westbrook getting that, creating that turnover by LAC at the end. That was tremendous by Russ. 9 seconds to go. Denver nursing a 3-point lead. Brilliant stuff out of Jokic as always. Nuggets able to survive and steal one. I mean, the Clippers had the lead vast majority of this game. That is a tremendous job by Jokic, by Westbrook. Listen, I've always been of the opinion Westbrook, a star, Hall of Famer, never got the proper respect during his salad years when he was playing brilliantly. Now he's not the player he was, and he still makes those wild mistakes. But even in a game where, there's still some goofy decisions on offense, Russ was tough. Russ was clutch. I root for Westbrook. I can't get enough. The joint was jumping in Denver. Game goes to overtime. That was incredible. Big-time win for Jokic and the Nuggets, who continue to be excellent post-Malone. Told you on Friday, I took my son Theo, who's turning 10 in a couple of weeks, to the Knicks and the Pistons game. Well, that was the ultimate father-son bonding, and honestly, he called that the best experience of his life. And when your team goes on a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, my goodness, why not? I mean, that was amazing. That was sensational. You got to remember, the fourth quarter started. Knicks were down by 8. Campaign forced a 5-second violation. This after, the timeout in the third and the fourth quarter. And I'm not going to tell you I expected a 21-0 run, but there was a murmur, like a feel of energy when you take a look at the way that the Garden crowd was reacting because you seize opportunity. This is where I think experience matters. Jalen Brunson is classic New York greats, and he was phenomenal. 34 points, sensational in the fourth quarter. Campaign, who forced that 5-second violation. He had 14 points, 11 in the fourth, had those 2 monster threes, and the way that they tied the game, it was Campaign 3, Brunson laying, and then Campaign again. Campaign! Watching Karl Anthony Towns with a brilliant double-double. He was tough. He was physical. The big bodega. Unstoppable. Defense, rebounding, blocking shots, altering shots, stealing the basketball. Absolutely sensational performance by my Knicks, and I think they will take care of business again tonight and take a 2-0 lead. Man, that was incredible. Energy was great. Cade Cunningham did nothing. I'm a big fan of his. Lack of experience for Detroit mattered, and Jalen Brunson and company able to seize the moment. The Memphis Grizzlies got thunderstruck. My goodness, SGA didn't even play brilliantly, and the Thunder, who I picked preseason, all season, in season to win a title, they absolutely destroyed the Memphis Grizzlies. 131-80. My goodness. Thunder going to win a championship. They're the favorites. They absolutely deserve to be the favorites. OKC is unbelievable. And listen, I think we're looking at OKC and Cleveland in the NBA Finals. And this is not an overreaction when you take a look at it from one weekend in the NFL. The Cavs crunched the Heat. Ty Jerome had 16 of his 28 in the fourth. Donovan Mitchell had 30. Darius Garland, 27. I'm telling you, Cavs Thunder going to be an epic NBA Finals.
You're watching Make It Rain on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The NBA playoffs are here, and so is the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. We have invited 15 sharp minds from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports to go head-to-head, making 38 picks from the start of the playoffs all the way through the NBA Finals. That's a total of 570 NBA playoff picks, all available to VSiN Pro subscribers. Picks are locked in 1 hour before the first game of each day, so you're going to have fresh insights to guide your bets every step of the postseason. Right now, you can get your full VSiN Pro access through August the 1st for just $59. Don't miss this playoff edge. Head on over to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. Welcome back, Make It Rain with Adam Schein here on VSiN, and it is time to shine on some baseball. And we, of course, on this Boston Marathon Day, had a Red Sox game this morning. And listen, if you had the Boston Red Sox, that's a good job by you. 4-2 was the final score. Boston has scored 3 runs in the third inning, able to take care of business, and always nice when you see the Boston Red Sox have the ability to go out and get a victory on Boston Marathon Day. Always a good day in Boston, Massachusetts. So we saw Walker Buehler do an excellent job today. 9 strikeouts, 7 innings pitched. Walker Buehler, if he's pitching like that, that is a game changer here for the Boston Red Sox, who beat the White Sox early this afternoon. The Cincinnati Reds yesterday put up 24 against the Orioles. 24 against the Baltimore Orioles. This is not a drill. This is not, at the end of the day, Joe Burrow taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This is Cincinnati Reds baseball. 24-2. Gary Sanchez, the catcher, was pitching at the end for the Baltimore Orioles. My goodness, Ellie De La Cruz. I mean, watching him play offense, defense, absolutely incredible. Reds have been up and down to start the season, hopefully for them. My preseason pick, to win the Central. There was some good juice there. Hopefully this puts them in the right direction and steers the ship in the right possible way. Baltimore, I didn't believe in. I still can't believe they had top 3 odds to win the American League. Still do have top 3 odds. It's crazy. Didn't like the offseason. Didn't like how idle they were. Didn't like how they just let guys go. And frankly, did not replace them, especially Corbin Burns in the rotation. So I think the Orioles are in some trouble. I don't think this is just an early season swoon. 24-2. I think the Reds just scored again. My goodness. My New York Yankees able to take 3 out of 4 from the Rays. Yankees on the road at home in Tampa as the Rays are playing in the Yankees minor league stadium, and that is absurd. How about Max Fried? He was untouchable, unhittable. In fact, had a no-hitter going. And then a couple of innings after the official scorer ruled that it was, in fact, an error, they changed it during a commercial break to a hit. Max Fried lost a no-hitter 2 innings later. That is absurd. That is unacceptable. They didn't have the proper video to look at, and because it's a minor league stadium. I mean, this is a joke. I mean, how do you have 2 baseball teams playing in minor league ballparks? Same game yesterday. Fried, who was dominant and sensational once again. Aaron Judge hit a bomb. Tattooed one that was clearly fair. They called it foul. The foul pole isn't tall enough at the Yankees minor league park for major league standards. I mean, this is a joke. And I'm telling you, Rob Manfred, if Aaron Judge is 1 homer shy of insert number here, if he ends the season on 59 or 63, or he's just shy of, 74 for a season, I'm telling you, I'm holding you responsible. This is on you. All on you. My goodness. Yankees playing great baseball. You check the American League pennant odds, and, Yankees deserve to be at the top with the Texas Rangers, who that I picked to ultimately win the American League pennant. Check the odds for American League MVP. I think this is pretty noteworthy. This early in the season, I mentioned last week it was minus 280, minus 330. And as an example, I picked Bobby Witt Jr. preseason as the MVP. Royals are scuffling. There's no one else on this board that I think is worthy of a bet. I mean, even Witt at this stage, it's clearly, and I know we haven't even hit the NFL draft yet. We haven't even turned to May yet. Things happen during the course of a season. So this is wild. Minus 330 right now. Also, I would encourage you to take a look at the American League Cy Young board, because Mr. Max Fried is having a tremendous start to the season. And I think that there are guys like Crochet, like Skubal, who won it last year, like Gilbert, like Reagans. No one's going to run away with this thing. Even someone like Luis Castillo or Kevin Gossman, or if healthy, Jacob deGrom. This should be a competitive field. Max Fried plus 700. This guy's a stud. There was a couple of years in Atlanta. I picked him preseason as the Cy Young. His stuff is filthy. I think people tried to, and I mean this as a compliment, tried to think he was Jimmy Key going to the Yankees like in 1996. Crafty lefty. I mean, Fried's stuff is filthy. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's a bulldog on the mound, and I think that looking at him as a Cy Young possibility, plus 700, makes a lot of sense. Yankees Guardians tonight as the Yankees try and keep the good times rolling. By the way, lost to the shuffle from all the jubilation from the weekend. Saturday, they had the game. Devin Williams blew it. By the way, Cabrera made a bad play at third. Doesn't necessarily reflect it. So not only do I want to see the Yankees keep the good times rolling, I'd like to see Devin Williams get his juice and his mojo back, taking on Cleveland starting tonight. Listen, I'm a diehard Yankee fan, but the official Make It Rain with Adam Schein World Series preseason pick was Dodgers-Rangers. And if this is what we're going to get in October, sign me up. My goodness. This series as advertised. Take a look at this recap board. What hit, what didn't. By the way, you're welcome, America. I got all those tweets. I appreciate it. Good job watching, obviously, the show on Friday. Our Yamamoto over strikeouts bet cash. DeGrom over strikeouts bet with plus money on it cash. So you're welcome. Look at how well pitched, well played these games were. Garcia with the game-winning homer on Saturday for Texas. Dodgers pitching was excellent with Yamamoto on Friday. The bullpen was timely yesterday. This, I really think, is going to be a harbinger of things to come when it comes to the World Series when you look at it for Major League Baseball. Listen, I think that when you take a look at the New York Mets, this team deserves a ton of credit. And I did not have the Mets even making the playoffs before the season started. And one of the reasons why, starting pitching, I've been dead wrong so far. Dead wrong. Mets, by the way, sweep the Cardinals in a 4-game series. And that hasn't happened, a 4-game series sweeping the Cardinals since 1986 when the Mets happened to win the World Series. Mets are 9-1 at home. I mean, look at how great the pitching was. Lindor with the walk-off on Friday night. Mets able to take care of business. Tremendous job by the Mets, who start a monster series at home, where they have been excellent, against a team that is a big rival. They got Aaron Nola and the big bad Philadelphia Phillies coming to Citi Field tonight. This is going to be a fun one. And yes, for those Mets fans who enjoy when I pick against the team, let me tell you, I think Aaron Nola can deliver the goods going up against the Mets tonight. Cubs Diamondbacks was wild. That was really insane baseball. You take a look at Friday, 13-11 was the final score with the Cubbies getting a dub. The Diamondbacks were able to win a tight one yesterday, 3-2. Arizona, I think, is a really good team, which means that's a really nice series win by the Chicago Cubs. Two teams that I think will be in the high 80s in terms of the win total. And Kyle Tucker keeps doing special things for the Cubbies. How about the Brewers scoring a couple of touchdowns against the A's? I hope you had the over in this one. And listen, you got to take a look at the A's. Another embarrassment when it comes to playing in a minor league park. This game was in Milwaukee, which is obviously good for everybody involved, so you don't have to have the embarrassment of playing in Sacramento. Brewers needed a laugher like this on offense, able to get it. That is good stuff. Blue Jays are going to be taking on the Astros tonight. I'm into this one, and this is going to be a fun game. Astros-Padres got some good national TV love over the weekend, and Astros, I don't think are the same team. I know they're not the same team that they were in prior years, which means to me, Blue Jays a little tasty on the money line tonight. And we do have the Brewers and the Giants. Giants have come back down to earth just a little bit, but I do think that getting the Giants tonight, minus 135, that is a good play for San Francisco going up against Milwaukee. On the other side, he's back. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. The Guru joins us next on VSiN.
You're watching Make It Rain on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The NFL draft starts this Thursday, and VSiN knows every single pick matters. Tune in for 2 special live shows, breaking down every pick from a betting perspective. VSiN Primetime Draft Edition starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Cashing Out Draft Edition at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Plus, explore our NFL Draft Hub on the VSiN Watch app, featuring exclusive analysis, team needs, and insights. Go to vsin.com/draft for the full coverage and stream it all live on the VSiN Watch app. Welcome back, Make It Rain with Adam Schein. Joining us right now, live on the Progressive Guest Line. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. The legendary host of Prop Points. He's the guru, you're not. Guru John Henson, welcome back, my friend.
Once again, we're out of time. That introduction was way too long, but what is up? I'm happy to be back here on VSiN with you, Mr. Adam Schein, our guy, Michael Cohen. I mean, we got the guys in the back. It's It's reunion time. It feels so good. It really does. But I'm ready to rock and roll. I will say, I just mentioned right before we went on the air, I stared at all the props draft related. I sometimes I stare for hours at a time. I speak in tongues. But these lines this year are really, really tight. So I've got some picks here for sure, but they are a little weird. I did go 5-0 on my draft props last year that I popped out on Fantasy Sports Radio. I don't know if I'm going to repeat it, but 3-2 at worst. But some of these are weird with high payoffs.
All right, well, let's do it, Guru, because I'm foaming at the mouth. I agree with you. We've talked about it. We've locked in some props. We have some others as well. First and foremost, and this to me is the tone setter, because it is the most intriguing parts of this draft, where do you think Shedeur Sanders is ultimately going to wind up?
Well, as we get into some of the other picks, it's really hard to figure it out here. I'm more in the line of thinking that he's slipping a little bit. So we'll talk a little Jackson Dart, but Cleveland, the Giants, the Raiders, the Saints, I think should probably be the front runners here. But, I don't know if any one of those teams, maybe the Saints at 9, are willing to take Shedeur. But of course we always have the move back up into round number 1. So I'm not really proactive on Shedeur, but I am a little bit on Jackson Dart, thinking positively on Dart and a little negatively on Shedeur.
So this is important here, and I have a futures bet that we locked in here on Make It Rain with Adam Schein 3 weeks ago. Jackson Dart, top 10, plus 600, and I keep hearing Saints for Jackson Dart. What's your take on Darts? Any plays on Jackson for this draft?
Well, I mean, the basic one here, it's not as gutsy as yours, but second quarterback selection, right? Dart at plus 200. Basically, betting that they go Dart over Shedeur. I mean, I do not think it's ridiculous at all. You look at the air raid offense, they're producing dudes who are balling nowadays. Jaden Daniels. And when I look at Jackson Dart, and I saw him up close and personal at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, I'm like, all right, eyeball test guy. He looks the part. I like how he is very good within structure. He throws pretty well. He's mechanically sound. The arm he snaps it off pretty well, but he's also a very good athlete and a good runner, and he can be a creative playmaker. So, I'm not worried about the college system, in Lane Kiffin's high tempo, RPO heavy offense. We're seeing guys like that excel, and, maybe he's got a little problems with some pressure, but not as much as Shedeur, and the pressure to sack ratio and all that better than Shedeur's. So yeah, I'm in on Jackson Dart as being a first-round pick, being the second quarterback taken. Wouldn't be floored at all if the Saints pulled the trigger there at 9. It would be early, but would it, look at Bo Nix. It's kind of like Bo Nix.
Bingo. Bingo.
In retrospect, Bo Nix should have been a top 10 pick, right?
I think Kellen Moore is going to do exactly what Sean Payton did a year ago. I mean, who cares what, the mock drafters have to say? He's hired to be a quarterback guru, head coach. He's going to get his guy. So that's where my brain is. I love that play with Dart as the second quarterback selected. Guru, I'm obsessed with Ashton Genty. Absolutely obsessed. I think he's going to be a rock star. I think he's going to be great for season-long fantasy, for daily fantasy, all season long. Listen, I think he can go to Jacksonville at 5. We've talked at length about the Raiders. I've said consistently on Making It Rain with Adam Schein, he's perfect for Ben Johnson and the Bears. Our friend Adam Schefter wrote about that today. Maybe potential for Chicago to trade up. What are you thinking here with Ashton Genty?
I think sometimes the obvious answer is, in fact, the answer. So I'm going to keep it simple here, not overthink it. I think the easiest bet here is minus 125. I looked at other options, and the odds aren't very good, that the Raiders draft Genty at minus 125, right there at 6. Again, let's not overthink it. Pete Carroll, dude's getting up there. You've met him. I've met him. Guy's a ball of energy. But, He's getting up there. The future is now. And when you look at Pete Carroll and you look at Chip Kelly and then you look at the depth chart, Raheem Mostert is 46, Adam, at this point. Sincere McCormick, Zamir White, Dylan Lawby. I mean, come on. It's not ideal because they're not really ready to challenge for a serious run in the playoffs. But conversely, like, you got Geno Smith there, you're going to stink if you don't have a real strong base running game to support Geno Smith. So that's what they're going to get with Ashton Jeanty.
How about quarterbacks, running backs, receivers on how many will be selected in the first round? The number in Vegas for QBs is 2.5 for the over-under. Running backs, 2.5. Receivers, 2.5. Any plays on any of those, Guru?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take the over on the quarterback there because Dart has got to get into round number 1. It would be, wow, it would be a big story, wouldn't it, if Shedeur Sanders didn't get drafted in round 1. But I do like the 3 running backs. Hey, running backs are back. I mean, this is what, I've been doing this for 30 years. Everything is cyclical. Everything is cyclical. The running backs were dead. Dudes walking around in skinny jeans, waiting until like round 12 to draft their first running back because running backs don't matter. Or the 0 running back thing. I never signed off on that. I knew that things are cyclical and, the running backs have a lot more clout these days. And I think the key guy, so I'm going to go over 2.5 running backs drafted in the first round on Thursday. The key guy to me is Quinshon Judkins. I am higher on him than most. I think everyone knows Genty's going to go in round 1. It would be shocking if Amarian Hampton didn't go in round number 1. But I actually have Judkins over Hampton in my rankings. I like Judkins just a little bit more. It's really close, but I thought Hampton was a little sluggish, very good receiver and all that, a lot of upside there, but I like Judkins as kind of a sleeper dark horse. So definitely over 2.5 running backs in round 1, thanks mainly to Quinshon Judkins. Hey, I could be wrong about Judkins, and Trevion Henderson could sneak in there, Adam.
So with that as a backdrop, America has been waiting. You went 5-0 last year on your NFL draft best bets. Give us the Guru's best prop bets for this year's NFL draft.
Well, I like the Jaguars drafting Tyler Warren. At plus 2,000. They traded away Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram. They certainly need another high-end pass catcher, and he can do a lot of different things, little H-back and all that. Here's a sleeper. Indianapolis Colts, first player drafted. It's at 14. The books are saying tight end with even money at plus 100, but the second best odds are for offensive line. They lost 2 offensive linemen, Ryan Kelly and Will Freeze. It is a good draft class for that. And, yeah, tight end makes a lot of sense, Adam, but they've already got 3 really good receivers and no quarterback. So, great. Let's add another receiver. No, you can get a tight end later. So I like the Colts to use their first pick in the 14th overall on an offensive lineman at plus 270.
I think Loveland is, the guy in theory that makes the most sense. You referenced the books there, but here's why I love that play, and I'll tie it in with Ty Warren. And I can see that with Jacksonville if they don't go Genty. I think the Jets should very much consider Ty Warren, and I thought they should have picked Bowers a year ago, and that means someone else can take Loveland off the board before 14, which means Guru's going to be a happy man. Guru, it's good to have you back. Our VSiN family is complete. The Guru! Wow! Wow!
You're watching Make It Rain on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring that all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cash back rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code RAIN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost is going to match a deposit. That's edgeboost.bet. Welcome back, Make It Rain with Adam Schein. And time right now for our news, notes, nuggets, and nightly plays. We have a great night ahead in sports and sports betting and sports content. Really fired up about it. I can't wait for Knicks Pistons game 2 tonight. Let's go. Spread on this puppy is 6.5. And listen, I do think it's worth, for the sake of conversation, remembering the ebb and flow and what transpired when you look at it for the perspective of the last game. It was 98-90 Detroit. And you do have to at least acknowledge that the Pistons came to play early. And I thought the Knicks did a brilliant job on defense. And I haven't said that about the Knicks, frankly, in the second half of the season. Cade Cunningham was roughed up, bottled up. Refs brilliantly led both teams play, which I thought was excellent. And, the Pistons haven't won a playoff game since May of 2008. They've lost 15 straight playoff games. That's the longest streak in NBA history. And listen, I think that the Knicks, and this is important here, because I wouldn't make a play on this one with the points. I'm just telling you that right now. I would not make a play on this one. You want to have fun? I think you can do a parlay that includes Knicks money line, Cat double-double, Brunson over points. I wouldn't touch this one just picking straight up against the spread. I would not do it. It's a weird number. Look, I think that, and J.B. Bickerstaff, who I love, who would be my mix for Coach of the Year, he said after the game it was just a matter of execution. And I'll interpret that. I mean, no playoff experience mattered. The Knicks, and that's why I referenced 98-90, they didn't play well for the vast majority of the game. So Tom Thibodeau is going to have every Knicks player's attention on how they need to play better, start hot, start strong, keep momentum going, and remind the Pistons of all these nuggets of futility and where they've been and all the losses, and let the negativity seep in. So I think the Knicks are absolutely going to win. And I remember I picked this series to go 6 games. I think Detroit will still get some dubs in this series. It's tough for me to rationalize tonight because of the way this game finished, the energy at Madison Square Garden, the short turnaround. Some of these series, it takes forever, a holiday in the same city between game 1 and game 2, which makes no sense. I think this all favors the Knicks. I wouldn't touch it with the points. I could see it going either way. But having the Knicks money line and then adding a couple of plays, Cat double-double, Brunson over, to put it into a parlay, that would be how I'd play tonight, Knicks and Pistons game. The Nuggets and the Clippers is going to be incredible tonight. This is my favorite game. This is my favorite series. I'm obsessed. It took me forever to pick a series winner in this one, as you know. We picked the Clippers in 7. We're going to stay with it. Listen, I took the over in the last game. It was close, but no cigar. That doesn't matter in sports betting. I was dead wrong. I got that you either win or you lose, and I lost that one. I'll take the Clippers tonight on the money line. I think the Clippers are brilliantly coached. I think the Clippers outplayed Denver for the vast majority of the game. I think that L.A. has been piping hot down the stretch of the season. I think that you look at the Clippers and how they've played this season, winning 8 straight, going into the playoffs. I mean, they hadn't lost a game in a long time. So I'm going to roll here with the Clippers. I think they will be able to take care of business. And I think just nice, easy, simple play, no props, even nothing on Jokic. I'm taking the Clippers money line to beat the Denver Nuggets coming up tonight. By the way, lost in the shuffle. It was the first game from Saturday, from the weekend that was. I always love the first weekend in the playoffs in the NBA, where you have 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday, and some games do get lost in the shuffle. I was stunned. I was wrong on Bucks Pacers. I thought the Bucks would lose but cover the spread. I mean, they got trucked. They got absolutely crushed. Now, I think that you look at 117 to 98, and Halliburton was great, and Spicy P was outstanding. I think he was the best player on the floor. Pascal Siakam for the Indiana Pacers. Nebhard was great. The crowd was excellent. Carlisle, tremendous. But take a look at the spread right now for the Pacers and the Bucks for the next game, for game number 2 coming up tomorrow night. The reason why this number has shrunk, Dame, I just checked my watch, and it's working once again. Dame's been upgraded. There's a real shot that he's going to play. And if that means you kind of favor the Bucks and think that they can bounce back, and I do, I would take Milwaukee on the money line at plus 160. Celtics made the Magic disappear. And this was not a surprise. I like what I saw from Brown, who played 30 solid minutes after missing, obviously, 3 games down the stretch with the knee. White was incredible. Pritchard was excellent. Boncaro is an amazing player. And my goodness, when Suggs is healthy, if they add one more dude, I think they'll be a truly, truly excellent team. But it's going to be close but no cigar here for Orlando during this postseason. So I think when it's all said and done, maybe they get a game. I took Celtics in 5 to win this series. This game was under the umbrella of as expected, with Boston taking care of business at home against Orlando. Let's do that hockey. And I got to tell you, I had my text ready in queue to fire off to our incredible producer, Michael Cohen, because I was ready. We were going to lead the show with it. I was going to be braggadocious. I mean, we are a hockey show, as you know. You know that I'm picking the Blues to beat the Jets, same old Jets. Play Gloria for the Blues. They jump out to a two-goal lead. I'm thinking this is going to be the greatest prediction in the history of Make It Rain with Adam Schein. And the Jets came back, and the Blues choked. And I don't know how, at the end of the day, the Blues recover. I wish I had some ray of sunshine and positivity. I wish I wanted to tell you that, okay, you should today currently grab the Blues at plus 320. You know that we played the Blues to win this series before it started. I feel like if you're going to make a call like that, you have a 2-goal lead in a 8-1 series. You got to be able to take game 1. All the good vibes disappeared. Avalanche take a 1-0 lead over the Dallas Stars. A lot of puckheads like Dallas in this one. As you know, we're a hockey show. I did not. And the Avalanche, they really had it going on. They crunched the Dallas Stars. I thought the Stars, a Vegas favorite all year. I was not taking the cheese on it. I kind of like the Avalanche a lot in this series, and I think they'll be able to take care of business when it's all said and done. I thought that was significant from the weekend, and I think that our Maple Leafs taking care of business, that was significant as well, and not a surprise in any way, shape, or form. Canadiens Capitals, I'm really looking forward to that one coming up. Ovechkin, obviously, $897 to close out the historic season as he gets 897 goals. Could he win another Stanley Cup? I think that he can. Leafs, as you know, were my pick to win the Eastern Conference. I am rooting very much for the Capitals to take care of business, and I think OV will announce his presence with authority tonight. Oilers Kings interest me greatly, and obviously health all across all the different lines for Edmonton is going to be a factor. It's Connor McDavid. We're picking the Oilers to win tonight, to win the series, minus 130 for Edmonton. You're welcome, America and Canada. Time right now to give out our best bets. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, official bank of VSiN. G-Bank is up in the all ante with a $750 bonus for new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. First, a new customer to spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days for account opening, $250 bonus. In addition, if you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads in the first 30 days of the account opening, get another $500 bonus, potentially a $750 bonus. Apply now at VSiN.com/GBank, subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. 2 bets for you tonight. Some juice on a couple of money lines. We'll roll with Aaron Nola and the Phillies, snapping the good times for the Mets at home. And that's right, we're going to do that hockey with the Edmonton Oilers on the money line, plus 110 against the Kings. Coming up next, right after Make It Rain with Adam Schein, Follow the money. Mitch and Paulie can't wait for it. Then it's VSiN Prime Time. And then, of course, another edition of Cashing Outs. For our guys in Vegas, for Michael Cohen, I'm Adam Schein. We'll talk to mañana. Make it rain with Adam Schein.